Our guest in this studio at this moment is Randy Lewis. He is the, as I understand it, interim president of the Chamber of Commerce.
Good morning.
Now, we know him formerly as the man who ran Main Street Martinsburg for many years. Randy.
And before that, R. Lewis Clothier, where I went when I first moved into town. I went and bought suits from him.
People miss that story.
Best suit buying experience I ever had.
I appreciate
your
that.
place was phenomenal. Great stuff, but it was just fun. I felt you welcomed me, basically welcomed me to Martinsburg, and I'll never forget that, and I appreciate that a lot.
He was the only customer who was 6'7".
Yes.
The tall.
I had to fit him, but I did well.
You did. No, but I mean, really, it was like a couple of weeks after I moved here. It was very welcoming, and I appreciate it a lot.
Here's my complaint about people like Bodwell, right? So he's 6'7". He buys a suit. I'm 5'8". I buy the same brand of suit. I pay the same amount as him, except for tailoring costs. Shouldn't he be paying like twice as much as me for all the material he's using?
You're really 5'8"?
And
He
half.
should.
I underguessed.
And a half. You always overguess my age and underguess my height.
5'8".
5'8" and a half.
Purposefully.
I know. Yeah. So why shouldn't he be paying more?
He should be. It just depends on the company and what they offer. So
I pay a lot. I mean, sometimes when I buy shirts and stuff, when I buy extra longs, I do pay more.
Yeah.
Like I've noticed when I go get my hair cut, the price keeps going up even though I have less hair to cut. When I was 30 and there was a ton of hair there, it should have cost more than it costs now.
vouch for haircuts, but
In their
clothing.
defense, they have to be a heck of a lot more precise with your haircut. There's not as much room for error.
She just takes the buzz and goes, and it's done. That should be like $5 tops. Instead, it keeps going up in price. I don't get it. Like it should be like charged by the hair, right? So Randy should pay a lot more for a haircut than I do.
I just got a haircut, but yeah, I should.
Right. This is what it's like because they're doing this in New York now, where they're charging a higher toll if you try to get into Manhattan during business hours than if you're trying to get in at nighttime. Right. So I think that we should kind of go with that for everything.
They want to encourage people to ride the subway because it's easier to get robbed that way. You know,
Or get pushed onto the tracks.
pushed onto the
You
tracks.
saw that video last week or not? That's horrific.
Scary,
Right?
scary, horrific.
Randy, when did you become the interim president of the Chamber of Commerce?
A week ago.
A week ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's January 1st.
How long will you hold the role?
I hopefully 6 to 8 months
Why is that your time frame?
because I love my retirement. I have grandchildren, and I'm a busy retiree.
Well, that's good, man.
So yeah, but I wanted to help out the chamber, and I felt honored when they asked me to be there. And it's like Main Street Martinsburg and the chamber are similar organizations, so
Yes.
I kind of know what we expect and what we're doing, and so it's easy transit for me going in.
You realize they're going to spend a lot of time trying to talk you into, and I'm a chamber member also, trying to talk you into being the permanent president of the chamber for a few years.
Yeah.
I'm always really envious when people my age are already retired. So I would try to talk you into working so I can be less envious.
It is nice to get back in the community, even though I'm still in the community, but it's nice to be in the workforce in the community. So I do miss people.
Will your role as the interim president be more of a caretaker role, or will you be trying to actually start a few things, implement some new policies?
I
or
think
anything?
both. Yeah, both.
Yeah. What are some of your goals?
When Tina was there for 14 years,
Yes.
and she did a great job. And then once she left, then I was on the board. Then we did hire the other director, and coming out of Tina was a community person, and she lived in this community, and it was tough for another person to come in that was out of this community to really engage the members.
It's a hard act to follow.
It is a hard act to follow. So, hopefully things will move forward with the chamber. We have a great chamber. We have almost 500 members. We have a lot of support, a lot of good sponsors that actually really step up to the plate and helps our projects and our events. So I'm very happy with that.
We'd love to do one of those chamber
Mixers
sometime.
Yeah. Okay.
We'd love to get on that list. Michelle goes to them. She goes to a lot of the events. The chamber is phenomenal. I mean, we work in a lot of different states, a lot of different areas. I mean, this is such an active chamber.
It really is.
And they've supported us, and we've been chamber members for a while. I feel the chamber here is the best chamber around.
Well, thank you, Jonathan.
And let me say one other thing. I don't picture you just being a caretaker. I know you're going to make things better because that's what you do.
Well, I appreciate that. We do have a mixer tomorrow night at the hospice. Maria Lawrenson, she's our board president, so we have a mixer there from 5 to 6:30. So
Yeah, Maria's the one who told me that you were now in charge.
Yeah,
She's my source for news.
She is.
Right.
She's my source for my board president.
Well, she's involved in a lot of things too,
She
obviously. Randy, is the membership of the chamber as high as it was pre-COVID?
Yes, it is. I mean, I think that we had a few that dropped off during COVID that I can look at the paperwork, but no, it's actually back up there. But we really need to get more members because I mean our community's growing, a lot coming in. I attended a groundbreaking yesterday. It's in Spring Mills for Patriot Credit Union. They're actually been established in Pennsylvania and Chambersburg, so they're moving into West Virginia. So
Okay.
and they want to get involved. So a lot of businesses are moving into the area.
I'll go home sometimes up Route 11, and I'll try to avoid 81 as much as I can. I'll pick it up at exit 23, and you go by Spring Mills, and every time I drive by there, there's a new business opening up along the road there.
They actually purchased the land. Do you remember the old Budapest?
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
So it was a hotel and a
Wasn't the Hotel
restaurant.
Budapest a movie?
It was a hotel and a restaurant there for many years back in the 70s. But they purchased that land. It's right next to Potomac Middle School or
Intermediate.
Yeah.
Do you remember Gatsby's?
I do.
What is that now? That was on the right side as you went on 11 North, wasn't it?
So that's what
Is that what that
that's
is?
what it was. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought you were referring to.
Budapest and then Gatsby's.
It was
And then
Gatsby's.
it was some other bar after that.
Yeah.
Some other. I mean,
Yeah.
and now I think it's just falling down now.
Well, no, they already tore it
Did they
down.
already take it
Yeah.
down?
It's gone.
They had a groundbreaking yesterday, so it was very windy and cold. But they're going to cut all the trees and expect to start a building here in spring.
So what do you do? What do you do at the chamber on behalf of the businesses in the community? What are the benefits of joining?
So
the
one of
chamber?
our couple of benefits is really giving them resources. We try to help them out and referral business, as well as networking. I mean, we have a lot of networking events that we start, and that helps them to really get involved in our community. Our Leadership Berkeley started back in, I don't know, I think it's been 20-some years. Our Leadership Berkeley is actually, it's a class. It's a eight
John
month-
Gilstrap, one of our coasts, is going
Okay.
through that
Yeah.
now.
When's the next one to sign up for that? Because we want Michelle Terwilliger, my vice president of business development. She wants to do that. She's been saying, "Can I?" And I was like, "Sure."
Sure.
We just need to
I think
find out when it
application
is
starts
again.
in July and it starts in September through June. So
Okay.
right now, we're almost in the middle of it. Next month, we do our state trip to Charleston.
Nice.
So they want to, we go and look at and set in some legislative sessions and kind of really understand how state government works. So it's a great program. I'm an alumni of 2007, which really I met a lot of good people, and I'm still good friends with them and still networked with them. So Chamber offers that.
Randy, as you talked about some of those benefits in resources and networking, that sounds like something that nonprofit organizations within our community could use. Are nonprofits a part of the chamber as well, or is that
Definitely.
different?
Yeah, no, nonprofit.
Okay.
We, we're a membership organization, so we do have, depends on how many employees you have.
Okay.
Is it what the rate is? But nonprofit organizations is also a half of the cost of a normal member because of of being a nonprofit. I know because I ran a nonprofit for years, and it does take a lot of money. But we also, at the end of the day, we really need to get our name out there and network. So the chamber is one of the vehicles that really gets nonprofits out.
Yeah.
What is it that businesses need support-wise? And you mentioned about the legislature in February; they'll go back into session and such. What can the state do to help small businesses be successful?
Well, we have a couple committees from the chamber. One of them is government affairs, and they really help businesses kind of, if they have a problem with some type of legislative session or information, they try to help. We do 2 legislative breakfasts and lunch, so we can bring in legislators so that we can talk about issues in our community, in our tri-county. So it helps them to know what's happening and what's going on.
We need to get the seed lady into the chamber so she can affect the change of getting rid of the anti-seed swapping legislation that's, a blight to our society.
Is that part of that? See, lady?
Somebody, she was in here a few minutes ago, and somebody,
Chris Chernick, yeah.
yeah, wrote that there's a law against, aggressive seed swapping or something.
Unless you're a licensed seedsman, you can't be swapping seeds.
Yes.
Can't be promoting the bartering. You ran a for-profit business and you ran non-profit businesses. What are the obstacles that are in the way of the average business person, whether it's for-profit or not?
Well, I think I ran a clothing store for 14 years, and, back then it was height of the season where, people in their community did dress.
Yes.
Bankers, attorneys. Nowadays, it's business casual, and it's continued to be that casual. So it's difficult in that field to be in that field because, now we can get on internet and we can just order things, and it's, from a business standpoint, it's kind of sad that we don't really have a personal clothing store that actually attends to your needs and knows your name and your size. And with a nonprofit organization, it's still tough. I mean, it's tough to get volunteers. You really got to have to engage them to be a part of that organization. They really got to have passion to know that they like that organization. So I think for a nonprofit, volunteerism is kind of down a little bit, but I think since COVID, things have changed. Everything has changed since COVID. So
I'll tell you one thing in regards to volunteering, and I coach high school football, which is, from what they pay you, it's kind of like volunteering.
That's 60 cents an hour they end up making.
Maybe. The amount of paperwork, licensing, registration, steps you got to go through for this, that, and the other that we put on people in these situations is overwhelming.
it is overwhelming.
Even if you want to just volunteer, there's got to be a way to shave off some of those regulations that, clearly we don't want maniacs, volunteering to help, with kids. So I understand you have to have background checks and such, but some of the requirements that are put into place, whether it's volunteer or what I do, coaching, and the requirements for me coaching would be pretty much the same, not exactly the same. If I wasn't a paid coach, I am, so there are even more regulations involved in that. But it just seems like it would chase a lot of people away who are like, well, forget it. I wanted to help, but if it's gonna take that much time to help, just be able to show up the first day, then forget it.
So paperwork is actually more than just dealing with parents at times.
Yeah, unfortunately, as an assistant, I don't have to deal with them too much. The head coach has to bear that headache. But
Okay.
But otherwise, I'm sure you've run into that complaint from people who are just overwhelmed by the requirements it takes to just volunteer.
Yeah. And, I've been sitting on committee meetings last couple of days, and I get to see how, these volunteers really roll up their sleeves and get the work done. And they are planning. We just had a women's network planning session yesterday, and, I was among 15 different women, and I was the only male there. And they really know what they were doing and organizing a conference. And I'm thinking, wow, these people are taking time out of their jobs. It's from 10. It was 8 to 10. And just being a volunteer to really support the chamber. So I appreciate that.
How, as a chamber member, how can you get more involved? How do you get on committees? How do you just?
You can call me or call the office or just show up at a networking event. Tomorrow night we have one at the hospice in the Panhandle.
What time?
5 to 6:30. It's great just to come and network. We have some door prizes. Maria will open up and talk about a few things, but just engaging with the other members.
And there'll be food.
There'll be food.
Food.
Yes.
Where people gather, there shall be food.
There shall be food.
Do you get notified when a new business opens up or files for a license in Berkeley County, Randy?
That's a good question. I'm not sure yet.
I guess you'll find out.
I'll
Huh?
find out.
That's a good idea, though.
Yeah, it is a good idea.
Yeah.
To proactively reach out to all the new businesses and welcome them and
Yeah.
try to get them into the chamber.
That is a great idea. I'm not sure.
Well, the Secretary of State's office
Yeah.
has all
I
those
mean, there is
stats.
a book out, and you can go online and see who's a new business each month. So I might do that.
Yeah, the Secretary of State. It's really easy on their website where you can delineate by county and when a business started.
But we're very fortunate that people really comes to us and say, "Hey, I want to join the chamber." Yesterday at the groundbreaking ceremony for the Patriot Credit Union, one of the board members was there and said, "Hey, I want to talk to you. I want to join the chamber because I have a business here in Falling Waters."
Mm-hmm.
So that was perfect.
What other kind of events do you folks sponsor or get involved with, Randy?
So, like I said, we have our monthly mixers. We do our golf tournament, which is actually in May. That's a big event.
Should be warmer then.
Warmer then. Yeah. And then we do, used to be called Tailgating Under the Stars, which is our auction. So I think we're kind of changing that up this year and maybe do a different venue. But I shouldn't say much because we really haven't sat down and talked. Tomorrow is our committee meeting. So I like to propose that because I think sometimes changes are good.
Sure.
And I think that the auction, since COVID, we had to go online to all the auction items, and which is working, but we really also need gauging and community. So,
well, you do the ribbon cuttings.
We do ribbon cuttings.
Y'all did one with us. I mean, that was that was a lot of fun.
We'll have one this coming Friday at BCT. They refreshed their lobby there on King Street Extended.
Mm-hmm.
Their BCT branch, so we're looking forward to their ribbon cutting at 11 o'clock.
Nice.
Were you still involved with the chamber when they called you and said, "Hey, we need an interim president"?
I wasn't.
So you were just kind of chilling. Right?
Once I left 3 years ago, I left everything.
So what convinced you to come back?
I'm not sure.
Too late.
I asked my wife, I said, "You think I should do this?" And I thought she would say, "You don't want that." And she's like, "I think you should take it for a while." So
she said, "It's your turn to get back out there and do a little work. I'm doing all the work around here."
She's doing all the work, but I do a lot of work too.
I'm just kidding. No,
we have 12 grandchildren, so
12 grandchildren. That's
12
astonishing.
Yeah, we just had one New Year's Eve, so
you need to work because you got to buy those gifts. There's a lot of birthday gifts.
Cheaper by the dozen is not cheap.
Yeah.
So in your interim role, will you be involved in the processes of then bringing on the next president?
Yes, that was part of my deal when I talked with executive board that they want me to start writing a job description and in getting that started, that process. So
you mentioned the similarities between the chamber and Main Street Martinsburg. You ran Main Street Martinsburg for how long?
14 years.
14 years, right? So between the two now, what are the differences, if any, between what you did there and what you'll do here at the chamber?
I think the chamber has a couple things, more members. There's almost 500 members, where Main Street really only had about 200 some. But, chamber does more on the state level with legislative, with getting more resources. Main Street was more active in just, trying to help small businesses in our downtown district. So, and the chamber is doing that as well, but I think we're on a broader and bigger scale of helping.
Are we the largest chamber in the state of West Virginia?
I'm not sure about that. Sorry.
No, it's fine. You're the guest. It's allowed. If I do it, Rob would.
I would give him the stern look.
Yeah, I would get the stern look.
I apologize.
Are we the largest chamber in West Virginia?
That's a good question. I'm not sure.
If not, I think that should be a chamber goal. I mean, I think we should.
I will look into that and let you know.
Because we have the strongest business community of any place
definitely,
in the
we do
state.
have our strongest business community, really, that I've seen.
I would assume if Berkeley's not one, then it would be two behind Canal, right?
I know that we're actually last week there was an economic outlook session at the casino, and I went to that, and there was a speaker there from Morgantown, and Berkeley and Jefferson County are up there with.
My economic outlet changes every couple of minutes when I'm in the casino. Just throwing that out there.
Stay off those credit cards, my man.
Yeah.
Do the chambers often work together, with neighboring counties? And when you talk about networking in the Eastern Panhandle as a whole, do you do things together?
We do partner with Jefferson County Chamber. Heather McIntosh, she's been there for a good while. So we do partner with her with the economic outlook. We actually partner together on that. So that we will move forward with helping with each other in partnership. So it does make a good community sense of building relationships in Jefferson County and in Berkeley County.
Randy Lewis has been our guest here. He is the new interim president of the Berkeley County Chamber of Commerce. He hopes to serve in that role for 6 to 8 months and then have a successor take over, and he can go back into retirement with the 12 grandchildren and such. Have you been in touch with Robbie Blair since you left Main Street Martinsburg?
I have. Doing a great job, yeah.
Yeah. Was there a lot early on in that first year between the two of you?
There was. We actually we met probably twice or maybe 3 times a week for a while, just when he first started. So, but then after a while, I'm like, you know what, you got this, Robbie. Move forward.
Yeah, he's done.
We're
a great
all
job
different
there.
people. He's doing a great job.
Yeah, I thought that the St. Patrick's Day thing was a real nice.
Yep.
Real nice addition there. I know Kevin.
I mean,
Knowles
he's
wanted
young. I mean, he's energized. You know, I was old. I'm your age, 61.
we're definitely old.
And I was getting stale. So, and it's great to see a new, younger person come into that position and really change things up. So
I didn't realize you were geriatric like Rob. That's
Yeah.
neat.
yeah.
Octogenarians.
Well, no, I gotta say, I mean, I've talked to a lot of people, and I know tons of people, and there's a big buzz about you being the interim president. Everybody's so excited about it.
Are you sure it's not that Ukrainian gold you had your hands on?
Yes.
I do. Yeah,
But
I appreciate
thank you.
that.
Thank
very
you for
much.
doing that for our community again.
Thank you.
Because everybody, I mean, what you did with Main Street was phenomenal, and this is
appreciate
exciting.
Randy, it's good to be
Good
appreciated.
to see. Yeah, it is. Thank you.
Man, good to see you, man.
I appreciate you all.
Randy Lewis, he is, again, serving for the next, he hopes, 6 to 8 months as the interim Chamber of Commerce president. If it goes on longer, it goes on longer.
5 years, you know.